Good morning. It is what day? Thursday. I thought it was Friday. My days are off again. It's October 24th. My wife's birthday, actually. Talking about dealer profits being stable, fleet EV transitions, and Apple's beta. Love talking about a good beta.
Good beta.
Thursday. You and I are kind of heavier beta users, I think.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it kind of like our role as creators demands it a bit.
Like I need to try it.
You got to try it out,
Early
right?
with it.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
But this is the first year I've really been a heavy beta user.
Yeah,
and
same.
I will say that I think the worst part of I was really nervous that stuff's not going to work.
Right.
Every once in a while, a little glitch, little restart, but really hardly any. But the one thing that's most disappointing is that when you see the announcement, we just announced this OS, the retail stuff, you're like, oh, awesome. You're like, oh, I've had this for 4 months.
You know what's annoying to me actually is because the betas actually kind of reset your phone. They kind of give it hey, whoa, reset the settings, try all this again. Yep. Is there are some things that every time the new beta comes out, you got to go
a little annoying. Got to log into this again.
It's all good. It's fine. It's fine.
But I know.
Yeah. All right, we'll get to that.
We had an awesome webinar yesterday with them all from Full Throttle talking about free TV.
Look, that was good. I think people maybe just don't understand what's out there and what's available, and the number are all oh, can I advertise on Amazon Prime? Can I advertise on Netflix? We know the big names, but I had no clue the amount of people that are watching free TV, logged in, but free TV kind of blew my mind.
And all the tracking and the matching back to IP addresses and things like that,
it's all there.
It's legit. So if you're not sure what free TV is, we're talking about the Roku sticks. When you turn the TV on, LG being a big player and having a big audience on free Samsung Plus. So you can go to asoto.com and just register for the webinar. We did it yesterday, but you'll get the recording so that you can learn a lot from probably one of the smartest people on the topic. And look, early movers are going to get the best stuff, right? Scoop up. Other retailers are, but not a lot of automotive.
No,
going to change that. Oh, hey, More Than Cars episode 4. We're so excited. Releasing in just under 3 weeks from now. We're at Mohawk Chevrolet. This is, I will say that we probably had, it's such a competitive environment that I think we had disproportionate amount of competitive fun on this shoot. And you'll have to watch, but there's a trailer online. You can see it on our YouTube channel or on our LinkedIn. And and there's a LinkedIn event, right? You can sign up so you can watch the premiere. So Circle, is it going to be 1 o'clock? I think. Is it 1 o'clock Eastern?
2 o'clock.
Yes. Nathan's giving us the nod. 1 o'clock Eastern. Just pencil it in right now. More Than Cars premiere, November 13th, 1 p.m. Eastern. So you can be with us on the live stream while we release it. We can be in the chat and in the comments and kind of experience it together. It's so much fun.
Yep.
I actually haven't seen the final cut yet.
Neither have I. I know. I'm ready for it.
All right, let's talk about some news. Yes. Okay. New data. It's funny. You and I mentioned this report. We spent the week on dealer lots and talking to people. We've mentioned this report 3 times so far.
Times, yep.
New data from the Presidio-NCM benchmark shows a sharp drop in dealership profits. That the sharp drop may be starting to level off and stabilize after a tough year. Average dealership pre-tax profits dropped 30%, 30.4% in 2024. But this is an improvement actually from earlier declines. Average dealer used vehicle margins are showing improvement while new vehicle margins are continuing to shrink. Fixed ops performance helped offset the declining profitability. Obviously, Keep has been going real strong. George Karolis of Presidio notes, quote, the improvement is the strongest indicator yet that the retail automotive profit tumble could be stabilizing. And when you look at the chart, you see it start level off and you're like, oh, okay.
Well, what's encouraging about this to me is it's leveling off still at a higher margin than what we had in 2018, 2019 pre-pandemic. And so even though everyone's feeling the impact of margin compression and different supply, especially on the new car side, it don't believe the hype that it's harder than it once was. We still have a better supply and demand situation than we had pre-pandemic. Yeah. It's just that when you experience these 140% increases over, at some points, you get used to this weird time. But we're still in a very profitable time as it relates to the history of automotive, according to this report. So I think the news is good. The fact that it's stabilizing, we'll see what happens around election time. We're coming hot into that.
So close. Please, can't come soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be stuff that, you know, comes and goes, ebbs and flows in that. So it's always something to watch out for every 4 years. But the stabilization and, you know, things like vehicles becoming a bit more affordable, interest rates coming a little bit more affordable. I think it's going to play a good role in stabilization all the way through 2025.
You know, I talked to on Tuesday, I was at a dealer roundtable at cars.com headquarters talking to a number of dealers. And one dealer specifically was talking about how he's starting to see these boomerang salespeople who were with him for a long time. He actually has a pretty low retention rate, but, you know, obviously COVID hit and then everyone's making a fortune. He goes, we didn't adjust our pay plans at all. He actually brought in a financial advisor into the store to coach his people on what to do while the money is good, and saying like, listen, he's like, just pretty soon you're going to have to look back to your 2018, 2019 paychecks.
Yep.
And be like, that is where we're going to be.
Yep,
right. Yep. And he said a lot of them, some, maybe not a lot, left, you know, looking for greener pastures. And now they're starting to come back and realizing like, oh, okay, this is
it's like that everywhere.
And so, so I think we are coming to the kind of the tail end of the cycle. And maybe this report is a little bit of good news in that direction.
Yep.
Speaking of going in a direction.
Stop. Segue.
Time. Good direction, actually. GM and Ford are both rolling out new tools to help fleet operators make a smooth transition to EVs, addressing concerns about cost, charging, and business impact. GM's EV Starter Kit helps identify EV-suitable drivers and routes, offering home charging solutions as well. Ford's eSwitch Assist is analyzing vehicle uses to suggest which can be which vehicles in the fleet can be effectively and efficiently replaced by an EV. So Ford's tool so far has analyzed 38,000 vehicles, finding that more than half of them, 53%, are actually suitable for EV replacement. Wow. GM is offering telematics and OnStar analytics to support their businesses. And this is where you really get a business, right? You give them a cost comparison.
That's right.
That's going to help you make a decision. Here's a quote from Nate McDonald, Ford Pro's EV brand manager. He said, quote, our solutions are aimed at making the transition easier and potentially reducing the total cost of ownership. So we've been saying forever, right?
Yeah. Like fleet. Broken record, ship it into commercial first, right? There's already a precedent for like every single night having it in the same place. There's a precedent for tracking and analytics. There's a precedent for telematics. There's a precedent for understanding that vehicle's capacity. Like all of that in the commercial ecosystem is already baked in. And so now you draft that over to an EV, and especially when you can think about like it mentions that they're kind of like figuring out, oh, these cars drive this certain amount of mileage, or these trucks drive this certain amount of mileage. They'd be best suited to transition to an EV because like they match the mileage ranges and the charging needs and all of that.
Yeah.
So it makes a ton of sense to kind of like analyze and test in that environment where it's controlled, it's understood,
repetitive, there's historical data,
exactly,
apples to apples. Yeah, I love it. I mean, we had my first business, we had a big fleet of kind of small vans to like normal size vans. And I've been thinking about this, and I've seen some solutions out there where I'm like, man, the EV would have been such an amazing solution. Does the same route every day. Don't have to stop for gas, like even things like that, right? Every morning you come back, plug it in, ready to go in the morning. So kind of sad that I missed that side of it, but I'm excited. So the business side and the fleet side, close to my heart. Speaking of close to our hearts.
Stop. Segue.
Time. Circle back to this one.
All right, we got to talk about it. This is honestly one of the most impressive iOS updates in the last, like, we'll call it 5 or 6 years. But the iOS 18.2 developer beta that has just come out introduces new advanced AI tools and enhanced integration with GPT, extending the capabilities of Apple's ecosystem. So even if you're on the like public beta and you have the Siri intelligence, you haven't gotten access to this like connection to GPT that is supposed to revolutionize that feeling. Visual intelligence also allows users to search using their camera on iPhone 16 models. which is okay. Look, that's the one thing where it's like Google did it like 8 years ago. AI powered writing features and expanded regional support are part of this release. The GPT integration is set to enhance user interactions, obviously, on Apple devices, giving GPT more access and integration with the Siri ecosystem. The Apple Intelligence is obviously rolling out in stages, with things like Siri's screen aware actions yet to arrive. So
I can't wait for those.
Siri's gonna have so much access to you. Look,
we had this conversation. Kyle, you're like, so I was just running the day after, and it just hit me. Like he download the beta, and pretty much you're like, do you want Siri to have access to everything?
Everything.
And
it's
you're
like,
running, and you did it, and then the next day you were thinking like, was that the right decision?
Yep. You know, who knows?
We had a fascinating conversation about this last night around the
about
table
all of this. Just like, where's the data really go? How tight is it? It says that it's only local, but is it really? You never know.
And one of the biggest things is
something to have a lot of fun with,
Well, part of the thing is like, can it be stopped at this point?
Yeah.
Right. Like someone's going to develop the tech, like we can regulate it, but what it comes down to, and the joke we kept making was like, but can it help us answer our leads? Right? Like that's like the problem that no amount of our AI can solve. You're
can
like,
100% of leads be responded to and communicated with?
20% response rate on all the leads, and like the only solution to that typically is like, I need more leads, right? No, that's not true. So I don't know, whatever you're into today, we're hoping you're responding to leads. Download the beta, have a little bit of fun. But aside from the tech, aside from the leads, aside from the beta, we have one thing we can do every day, all day, and that is take care of the people. We'll see you here tomorrow.